Before you go and quit your job, you need to understand something. There's this thing that happens when you go to work, right? And I know many things that you probably just popped up in your mind, but it's this one thing that happens, and probably the most important thing that happens, and it happens very frequently. You get a paycheck. Listen, before you go quit your job, please listen to this video, okay? Now, I'm the first to sign up for quitting my job, which I did by God's grace. By the age of 35, I was able to walk away from a six-figure corporate job and go out and pursue my passion, which was being a full-time entrepreneur and business owner. Oh, but since I'm here, I got to go back and let my peoples know. Before you go and quit your job, you need to understand something. There's this thing that happens when you go to work, right? And I know many things that you probably just popped up in your mind, but it's this one thing that happens, and probably the most important thing that happens, and it happens very frequently. You get a paycheck. And I know because you're so used to getting it, it's taboo at this point. You're like, man, they could keep that check and this job. I'm out of here. And I get it. And I'm on the other side rooting for you. I see you running like towards the finish line. But it's my responsibility to let you know that there's going to be times in business where you're not going to get paid. Yeah, let me say that again. There's going to be times in business where you are not going to get a paycheck. And at that time, you're going to be looking for that direct deposit. It's going to take you back to a level of appreciation. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say that to encourage you to understand, in order to go out and quit your job and be successful in business, you have to wean yourself off of the idea of instant gratification. Why do you think, number one, that an employer comes up with this interval of paying you weekly or bi-weekly or monthly? It's because they've done enough research to understand, based on the job setting and environment, what is tolerable enough for you to work for the longest duration possible before being frustrated to the point of wanting to quit, that they need to stimulate you again with something that you want, which is the money. Otherwise, they just pay you every day. Anybody ever thought about that? I hadn't until I just shot this video. But it's the truth. They come up with payment intervals because they're looking at the stress test of how long can you go before they need to reward you to keep you excited about coming and doing it again. And if they just gave it to you daily, then you wouldn't appreciate it as much, and you probably will feel differently about it. So they want to drive you to a point and stretch you to a point to where when you get that inoculation, it reinvigorates you to go do it again for another couple of weeks, right? They're helping you build working stamina. Listen, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I'd just be remiss if I didn't let you know, yes, we do have another one of our 5-day challenges coming up, the iFlip Challenge, where I am teaching you how to go out and build a 6- and 7-figure business in 12 months using other people's money. If you are trying to go out and build a real estate business and achieve the time freedom and financial freedom that you've been seeking all your life, then click the link in the description, join the next challenge. I look forward to meeting you guys there. Now back to the video. Now, one of the things that you can do to hedge against this, and we encourage this inside of our mentorship program, is we teach those that want to quit their job while going out and making active income is great. You can literally go out and start building a 6- and 7-figure business in 12 months with the processes and systems and skills we show you. But active income forces you to have to go create another check. What do I mean? You go out, you flip a house. Say it take you 4 months, you make $100,000, which many of our students do. Well, you can't stare at that trophy for long because you got to go and do that again, right? And nothing wrong with that. You make a couple $100,000 extra a year, that's fine, but what do you do about the in between? Because it took you 4 months to produce that. So how do you organize your finances in such a way to carry you through that moment to where you live in feast and famine between deal to deal? Well, this is what you do. You go out and you start buying cash flow. So for our students that come in our program that want to retire from their job, I suggest that they go out and start buying cash flow property, because cash flow are rental properties that pay you on a monthly residual. So you have more predictable income to look forward to on a monthly basis as you once did at said employer. Okay, so that's one way to hedge against that. But for those of my business owners that's not going into real estate, I just want to caution you that you're going to want to start looking at some type of cash flow business that can pay you some type of dividend or residual if you need to look forward to having that stability. What I would highly recommend, though, is even in the vein of a cash flow business, there's going to be times where the thing don't cash flow. So you're going to want to make sure that you got enough reserves saved up to whatever level of comfort, 6 months to a year, that your monthly expenditure is covered on a monthly basis to allow your business to grow. Because in order for a business to grow, no different from a human, no different from any other living organism, it needs oxygen. And your business is no different. Your business needs oxygen to grow up and become healthy and strong. And if you start suffocating your business too early because you're trying to have the business take care of your monthly expenditure personally, as well as all the other stuff that goes along with running a successful business, then you're constantly suffocating it and you're inhibiting its ability to grow. And you end up with a deformed business like you would something deformed if it didn't have appropriate oxygen going to it. And so if you want to do this and do it the right way, because the whole idea of leaving your job to start a business is that you think the business will serve you at the highest level, at a higher level than working a job, you get your time freedom and your financial freedom back, then I'm telling you, in order to do that, then allow it to grow up. Allow it to grow up. And as it grows up, allow it to then start hiring some other people under it to let it grow up even bigger. In order to do that, you can't be solely dependent upon getting an immediate check, and especially one that is competitive with the one that you're walking away from. So there's one thing that I recently heard one of my mentors, Myron, talk about, and it was so eye-opening to me, and it's so overlooked. And that is, you go from having a job to buying a job. And he said that one of his mentors even told him, why would you go and buy a job when you already had one for free? Right? And what he means by that is this. We have a job, which means that we invest our time for a specific amount of money that this employer agrees to pay us for our time, right? Which is typically undervalued. We say, you know what, we had enough of this, right? My time is worth more than me. I'm more valuable than this, than what this employer is willing to give me. And so we go and buy a job. So typically when we start our business, we're everything inside that business. And so we pick the groceries, we make the meal, we clean the table, like we're everything inside the business, which eventually leads to us being the bottleneck inside that business, right? Which means that we're the thing that clogs everything up from working most effectively because we're doing too much. But most people haven't come to that level of resolve, and they think by them doing as much as possible that they're making more money because they're not hiring other people. But what's happening is that's not the highest and best use of you and your skill set. You're effectively being inefficient all over the place. You just don't realize it. There are some things that you do better than others, but there's other things that people do far better than you that you actually hate to do, but you unwilling to give up the money to have them to do it, which will free you up to do more of the stuff that you're great at, which would mean you would make more money. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But for the sake of this one, you go out and you start this business. Well, you're doing everything inside the business. However, you were right. You're making more money now. But now you got even less time than you had when you were working at the employer, because you were able to give them 8 to 10 hours and cut it off and feel justified. Oh no, but over here, you working 12, 14, 16, and there's nothing to be justified, because who you gonna justify it to? Oh yeah, because you the boss, right? So you leave a job to buy a job, not realizing, my God, I'm making a lot more money, but I got no quality of life. Like, I'm actually miserable, I just make more money. And so for everybody, 2 things need to happen immediately. You need to get the business to a point where it's making good money. And as soon as it is, you need the first investment into that business needs to be your next growth partner, I would call it, right? Somebody that can come in and help you make more money. I got this rule in business. I never should have to pay for an employee. They should always pay for themselves. So your hire should always pay for themselves. You should never worry about having to make payroll, because they should be coming in helping you make more money. They shouldn't be a liability. They should be an asset. Okay? And so as soon as you do that, go hire another person that can go make you even more money. And then you look up, and that now you got some time freedom back, and you're making more money. And you got people that you can leverage and delegate to, and create systems and processes that you never had before, because you were the one person doing everything. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So I just want y'all to be consciously aware, because it's so quick to be like, I'm gonna fire my boss. But then to realize that now you over here and you bought this business, that you now need to fire yourself from different roles in it as well. Okay? Otherwise, you're gonna have all the money in the world but no time, and you're still gonna end up miserable. So create systems, find great people to work within those systems, and continue to evolve and grow your business and free yourself both financially and get your time back. That's the whole point, y'all. Otherwise, just stay where you at. And so just some practical steps, y'all. Number one, if you know you're gonna be leaving your job, start looking at lowering your monthly expenditure. Look at the things that you really don't need, that you consider luxuries while you were working and you had the predictable income. And quite frankly, some of these things were probably distractions away from the reality that you didn't want to face, that you were stuck at work. Okay, so start eliminating some of those things. Vacation homes, like the extra stuff, get rid of it. Get as lean as you can within reason, because you know that you need to put your energy and resources into the business. Okay. Secondly, make sure you had those reserves saved up. Make sure you had a reserve saved up that can cover at least 6 months of your expenses and possibly even a year. And then lastly, understand that this is a process. It's a process. Yes, you may make some money along the way, but the best investment as you're making money in your business is to reinvest it into your business until that thing gets to a point where it just snowballs. Okay? As soon as you can, put yourself on a small salary in your business. Get used to paying yourself out of your business, because remember, everything is two-sided. So you can get so used to not paying yourself in your business that you make a bad habit of not doing that. Then you'll be also miserable because everybody else is making money and you're not. You'll start to spike them. So put yourself on a small salary as soon as possible in your business to start that muscle memory of you getting paid from your business. I just don't want you to go into it with your eyes being bigger than your stomach and you expecting more out of your business than you should, to where you cannibalizing its growth prematurely. You don't want to do that, because you want your business to grow up, get strong and healthy, so that it not only feeds the people in the business, it feeds you at a high level, which allows you to feed everybody else around you at a high level as well. If this was helpful for you, please go out and share this. Share this with other counterparts. Share this with those that you love. Share this with other aspiring and business owners. Like it, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know if this was helpful. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.